Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of the Safari Pedals Show. I'm your host, Abby. If this is your first time here, welcome to the Crazy Wild Safari Pedals podcast zoo thing bandwagon. It's great to have y'all here. Guys, I am super stoked for today's episode and super stoked for today's guest because Lillian Frances is going to be on the show. She is a producer, mixer, educator, content creator, singer-songwriter. She does all of the things indeed, and we're going to be diving in to a plethora, please let's stop to appreciate my use of the word plethora, a plethora of topics from her music production to content creation journey, how being a content creator and educator has influenced her creative process as an artist as well. I'm really excited to dive in and have a chat with her, so without further ado, let's do the thing. Guys, please give a very warm Safari welcome to Lillian Frances. Welcome to the show.
Hey, thank you for having me.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for hopping on the pod. Really appreciate your time. Before we dive into all the good stuff, let's start with who you are, what you do, and we'll take it from there.
Yeah, for sure. My name is Lillian Frances, and I am a music producer and educator from Northern California. I started producing music 10 years ago-ish, 9.5. We're going to say 9.5 because I'm really excited for when I actually get to 10 years to say, I've been doing this for a decade. So I'm slowing my roll. I've been doing this for 9.5 years and started teaching music production like 3 or 4 years ago. And yeah, just trying to figure out how to better express myself through music every single day and trying to identify how to express myself through music so that I can help show other people how to do it and help other people actualize themselves through music.
I love that. I will hype you up and say that you are like an Ableton guru. I'll preface this episode with that, so I'm very excited to dive in. I want to start with a little more about your background. Like, what got you into music production in the first place 9.5 years ago, not a decade? And then what got you inspired to get into education and also like start up your Instagram and your content sleigh?
Yeah. So let's see. I've always been a singer. That's like I would beep and boop around the house singing my entire life growing up. And then, kind of got into singer-songwriting when I was in high school because I realized that I wanted to be Taylor Swift. My grandma got me a guitar. My family was always very musical, my dad's side of the family at least. And so they were very, very supportive of like signing me up for cello as a kid, signing me up for piano as a kid, signing me up for violin as a kid. Mind you, I didn't do any one of these for more than like 6 months because at the time it wasn't interesting to me. Looking back on it, what I would not do to have kept playing the cello like my entire life. Like I deeply regret not actually learning an instrument as a kid. So then I think I always had this like lack of musicianship, I would almost say. Like when I was in like my 20s, I didn't play any instruments, right? I could play a shitty guitar, still can play a shitty guitar. I could play like a pretty shitty piano, but I didn't have any instrument that was my flow, my soul. There was no instrument where there was just a, no resistance between the two in expression. And so I think one of the reasons that music production stood out to me is because it felt like a musical instrument that I could learn and actually perfect as an adult. Whereas it's a little bit challenging to start playing the violin as an adult and actually be as good as a kid playing. But there's no like physical muscle memory shit happening with computers. So like, yeah, kids are always going to be better at anything if you start young, but there's no like physical limitation to learning music production. So I think that was one thing, is wanting to be a musician and seeing this as the actual way that I could be a real musician is through music production. That's one thing. The other thing is I was in college in Los Angeles and I was dating a guy who was working at the recording studio that we had on campus. And he was stoked on getting me in there to record my songs because I had been writing songs and recording or wanting to record them. I was like, oh, okay, like I'll do that. And as soon as I heard myself played back for the first time, I think I recorded like a Sufjan Stevens cover. I really couldn't get over the sound of my own voice. Oh my God, I couldn't believe it. Listening to myself back blew my fucking mind. And so that's when I was like, oh, I want to do more of this. I want to do more of this. And then at the same time, I started getting really into electronic music. And then I realized I was like, whoa, I want to have the power to create everything and do it by myself and not have to rely on any of these engineers in the studio because they were all men and I was required to be in the studio with one of them. And I was like, I just want to press all my own buttons. I want to be fully by myself in the studio, to be in the flow. I don't want to have anyone else judging me there when I'm songwriting. And so that began my quest, I guess, 10 years ago to start learning music production. And then I went to a music production school in Los Angeles. And that was what like really kicked me off. And I was very, very, very lucky to go to the Beat Lab Academy in LA.
I want to go in a little bit into your artistry, Slay, and ask, like, since you do all the things, you do the content. Oh my God.
We interrupt this program to bring you a special report.
Oh.
It's a tiny poodle sighting.
Oh my
poodle,
God.
say hi.
Hello.
Yeah, I said that there might be a tiny poodle sighting at some point, and now there's going to be a tiny poodle sitting in my lap. Oh, I'm so
I
lucky.
love that. As many as you'd like this episode, we welcome in all the sightings. Oh, that is amazing.
Perfect.
I wanted to ask,
Sorry,
like, since you do so many things, like, how does how does creating content and constantly being in an educator mindset, like, does it inform the way you create and produce? Does it kind of like feed itself?
Oh, wow. That's a really good question and an expansive one. Yes, is the short answer. I think one of the things that drew me to music production or to teaching music production is that I'm essentially getting paid to become better at what I already want to get very good at. So for example, like mixing. I love mixing, right? I've maybe mixed, I'm very new relatively in my mixing career. I've probably mixed 30 or 40 records, something like that, right? Which is not that much. Each one I've poured a lot of love and time into. So it feels like a lot more than that, right? But that's very, very new in my mixing career. You check in with me in a decade and I will have mixed 400 songs or something like that. And every single one I get better. So what makes me feel like a motherfucking badass is being a damn good mixer. I love mixing. And so getting to do that over and over and over for people that pay me, and in turn I get better and then provide better results for everyone else, that's awesome. Getting to explain how concepts that confuse me work, right? Like compression. Like when I was first starting to teach compression, that's when I had to really understand what was happening and get into the nitty gritty with the knee and the attack and the release and like truly understanding every single different way that we can use compression and when to use it. And that's something that it took me explaining to really fully understand myself. So I feel like once I can explain it and break it down, it solidifies my understanding of it. And then that just contributes to my work. So it's all circling. And then what I've been finding lately, because I've been making content for the Sound Playground, which is my music production teaching like channel and home, shout out, is I love doing like breakdown videos. So after I produce a song, I will break down my video and explain how I made everything. Because I think, oh gosh, there's so many different ways that you can produce a song and so many different approaches to production that I'm fascinated. It's like, how do you make your drums? Do you program them in MIDI? Do you program them in audio? Do you use some kind of like a third-party programming plugin? How do you do your synths? Do you make your own? Do you chop them? Do you use presets? Like, how do you make this and this and this? Where are your risers coming from? How are you doing your reverb, right? There's so many different ways to approach everything. So I like breaking it down to show other people, this is one example of what you can do. Have you thought about it this way, right? And in breaking down those videos, I have a lot of micro content in it. So then once I like film the YouTube video, I will go through that YouTube video and I will find, just micro pieces of, oh, this is a fun tip. This is a fun moment. And so 1.5 hour video might give me like 20 reels or something. And then I have to edit them separately because it's like horizontal to like, reel format, which is like vertical. But it does it does contribute to the other. And like, I just did a breakdown video for a new song that I have coming out in a couple weeks. And yeah, I got like 20 new reels from that. And like, oh, that's great. That'll last me for a couple months, you know?
Hey, dude, super stoked to hear the new song.
Oh my God. I'm
Patiently waiting, impatiently waiting. Heck
Girl,
yeah.
I got like an album's worth, and now I'm just like, do I want to release them all as singles? Do I want to release them as an album? Do I want to do it with a label? But I think that when it comes down to it, I just need to release, and that's the big part, because I know I get anxiety before releasing about like, what if the marketing doesn't work? What if nobody listens to it? What if the algorithm isn't on my side? What if I have stupid reels? What if blah, 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 and 400 people listen to it, you know, and then forget about it. But I think it's a really good song, and if I have like the right marketing, it'll have the right people and it'll explode. It's like that kind of nervousness keeps me from releasing, period. But then I realize I'm like, well, the only thing worse than that is not releasing music. And really what I care about is just people being able to listen to my music. Like, at this point, I kind of don't really care about being like famous or getting a ton of streams. I just want people to listen to my music.
I love that. And I will be an honorary listener. Dude, I'm on it.
Yes.
And also, Bob the Plastic Flamingo will also listen.
Yes.
So you will have 2 streams.
Bob,
Guaranteed.
I'm gonna be big with the flamingos.
Oh, for sure. Absolutely. There's lots of flamingo paraphernalia in here. We will all of us, the collective, will listen.
I love that. I know I'm seeing the beware from flamingos in the back. I respect.
Thank you. It's so funny. Like, I really had like, I never, until getting to Safari Petals, I never once in my life given thought to flamingos. But just like from the podcast till now, flamingos have just become like my whole personality, but they're not. You know what I mean? It's like perceived that like, it's just become my life now. I'm like, okay, I'll get this for the podcast. But then like when the show's over, the flamingos are still here. And I'm like, guys, it's just the show. It's not who I am as a person.
That's so funny. One of my friends has a company and the flamingo is the logo of his company. And I will buy him a bunch of flamingo shit. I see flamingo earrings, I buy them. I've like a little flamingo patch, I buy it. And so you look around his house and he has all these little flamingo things, and it's just because
it's for work. It's not who we are as people.
It's for work.
It's for work. But no hate, all love. But to sum up everything we spoke about, I always love to ask our guests to either drop, it can be a piece of advice or just anything you want to drop to the greater studio animal safari world. So do you have any other things to say to the peoples?
I think collaboration is where the fuck it's at. I historically have not been a collaborator in my years of music producing. I think that a lot of it stemmed from wanting to fully understand music production before I got in the studio with anyone so that no one could mansplain anything to me. There's a difference between learning cool things from men, which I do all the time, and I have a lot of really cool music producers and engineers that surround me that I learn from all the time. There's also mansplainers, and I was just like, I don't want to be mansplained to at all. So I think I really didn't want to do that. I like collaborate because I was afraid of like getting in the studio with someone and then like we would like collaborate on something and then like, I don't know, they would see that the track was released by Lillian Frances and X dude and be like, oh, well, she's the singer and he's the producer. And my ego didn't really want that. And now I realize I'm like, I don't really give a shit if someone else gets credit for me because like gets credit for my songs. I produced and mixed every single song on my Spotify, except for one, Gravestone Feel. I did not produce that one, but every single one basically. And my artwork speaks for itself and I don't have anything to prove to anyone. So now I kind of have a little bit of a different approach. And I realize that collaborations are where it the fuck is at in terms of gaining a new audience, in terms of finding fulfillment with music production. I think a lot of people in music are out there wondering, what is success? Is it Spotify listens? Is it playing festival? What is it? And I think what makes me feel like a real music producer and not just like a human who's in my room like pretending to bang on a keyboard is when I get to play with other people. And it always is better when I'm doing it with someone else. So I'm trying to be very picky about who I collaborate with, but collaborating with people who I know our vibe is going to kind of make both of our productions better. So that's been very fun. And I've got some fun collaborations coming up that I'm super stoked on. So collaboration, try it. Even though it's scowy, I was so scoured of it. I was so scoured because what if you get in the room with someone and like you're not good? You know, it's one of those days where everything you make is shit, right? You can't guarantee that you're going to get in a room and it's like, oh, it's going to be the day where I fucking crush, you know? But then I realized too, it's nobody gives a fuck. If you meet up and link up and know that you don't write anything cool, they also didn't write anything cool. You're both just like, oh, well, okay, that was fun. See you next time. Like, cool. That's where we started, not having a dope song together. That's what we already had. So you're not actually losing anything.
I love that. And dude, good for you on the development of your mindset towards collaboration. What a journey. Look at the growth.
What a journey.
So much open-mindedness. We're here for it. Absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely stemmed from not a very dark time, but times of solace and solitude where I'm like, what the fuck am I doing? What's happening here? And then being like, oh, the antidote is humans. The antidote is community. The antidote is the people around me. Because I would see the people who were getting the most attention and the most like part of the music scene are the ones who collaborate the most. And so if I want to feel fulfilled in like part of a music scene, then I have to collaborate a lot. And I realized I have so much to give with the collaboration. I'm like, hey, I'm a music producer and a mixing engineer and a singer and a songwriter. Like, yeah, you should definitely want to collaborate with me.
Yeah.
Like, or there are ways that I can give so much to my community too. You know, like if I know of someone who's trying to learn how to produce a song, or like someone who's trying to learn how to perform live, or like trying to get their tracks mixed, like I have so much that I can give. And really, the more you give, the more you get. So that's just what I'm trying to kind of do right now, I think.
I love that. And I personally feel very inspired by what you said because I'm at the stage where I like live in a cave.
Yeah.
So like hearing you kind of being like, okay, I was there, I've broken out of it and my life has gotten better and not worse. It's like, oh, okay, maybe it is worth going outside sometimes.
Yes, definitely.
And getting out there.
Or just doing it from the comfort of your little basement.
Yes. But I will definitely test out Sunlight and collaboration. So
give it a shot. Worth trying.
Absolutely. I'm so here for it, and I really appreciate you hopping on, dropping lots of gems, and sharing your wisdom of 9.5, not 10 years.
Absolutely. It was very fun to come on here and talk about this, and I hope that someone listening feels a little bit lighter about the prospect of making music, because it can just seem like heavy, and it just shouldn't. It just should be fun.
Yes, you want this, I want this, everybody in this, we should have it. Stop illusions, it's in your hands, show yourself.